My favorite game or toy was, well actually my favorite toys were, my mother bought me a set of dolls from around the world, and it was just every kind of doll, and I'd have my little beauty pageants, and Miss Africa would win my beauty pageant. Although I did appreciate the
It was fixed.
Yeah, it was every single night Miss Africa would win, and then it would go in order from whoever was like had the real dark feeling. Spain would be next.
Oh my goodness.
Miss Sweden would always be at the end. Oh, I have Swedish friends. But it was I love that game.
Okay, that is hilarious. So Beverly, what were you afraid of at 6 years old, and what are you afraid of now?
At 6 years old, I used to move. I was moved a lot, and I was moved with different relatives, and I think I was just afraid of being, I guess being the new kid. I was always the new kid, so that kind of, I always just wanted to kind of disappear and play the background. So I was just afraid of just moving, but after a while I got used to it, and it became kind of an adventure for me, you know. So, but in the beginning, I was afraid of that. I was afraid of being the new kid.
What about now?
Now I try not to allow myself to give into fear, because I've got too much work to do, and I think that you know, fears will paralyze you. Not that if I was, you know, standing at the end of a 15-foot pool, I wouldn't be fearful because I can't swim, but I try not to put fear in my thinking, in my everyday thinking.
What's the deepest injustice that you feel is waged against women?
I think there are all kinds of injustices waged against women, and I think it spans the globe, and it's also culturally, depending on where you're growing up and what's happening. I chose to deal with the injustice that I felt was happening to young women of color here in America, which was the imbalanced images of who we are.
And what woman in history would you love to have a conversation with? Who would you want to talk to?
Well, what's interesting is that doing producing Black Girls Rock has actually given me the opportunity to speak to some very incredible women, including Ruby Bridges, who I personally produced and interviewed for the piece that was in the awards show, and I was in tears just talking to her and listening to her story, and how she was really the only kid in that school, and how all the parents snatched up all the kids, because I thought that they snatched them out of the classroom. I didn't realize they snatched up all the kids in the entire school, and she was there by herself. And that was just one of the most amazing conversations that I've had with someone in history. You know,
that one made me cry. Did you all see that? I mean, all the packages were great.
Yeah.
But that one?
Yeah, that was amazing. Also, you know, Angela Davis, that was amazing. You know, being able to speak to Sonia Sanchez, being able to speak to Ruby Dee. You know, these women, you know, and I've actually had this opportunity, so I'm, you know, I kind of lived this, you know.
Where do you go? Where do you look for inspiration, and where do you go for protection?
I go to the same place, God.
I heard that. Y'all give God a hand. What makes you beautiful, and what makes you powerful?
I think I think what makes me happy about who I am, if we want to describe that as beauty, is that I am giving, and that I am humane, and I stand up for others. I think that's what I like about me.
Powerful. Do you think it's the same thing?
I do. I think that it's powerful to be in touch with your truth, and I think I'm in touch with my truth. I think I become more and more in touch with it as I go. I think that, sometimes when I speak up, I want to say what has to be said in situations. I realize how gangster I am. I get real Jay-Z-ish, and I feel that that's what makes me powerful, just being able to be truthful and to not be afraid to be truthful and to be honest about what's happening in society without necessarily trying to be on I'm not trying to be, not to say anything is wrong with it, but I'm not trying to be in a soapbox. I'm just trying to tell the truth, and I'm just trying to speak up for our women and girls.
What can you not live without?
I think that would just be, again, I walk with God, and I can't think that I would be able to live without having that relationship.
Y'all give God another hand. God's a star. What is your dream for the next generation of women? What do you dream for them?
Well, it's what I try to instill in my girls. I dream for them to be their most genuine selves, to be the best of who they can become, to understand the importance of integrity, high standards, work ethic, striving for excellence, bringing the most and the best of our culture to the forefront, or whatever culture that they come from to the forefront, and just being the best representation for women. I think that if you make the attempt, I'm not saying that everybody has to become Michelle Obama, I just think that everybody should try to tap into their most genuine, truest selves, and not be, one of the reasons that I said at the awards is to not be followers, to be leaders, meaning that don't just see something and think that this is who you are. I was in, can I just, I was in a pizza shop today, and there were these guys, really grown men, and they were having this conversation about how fly this girl was because she had on Burberry boots, and then she's got that Louis bag, and then she's got those Versace shades, and then she's got that, and they were really like going down a list of labels, and this is what they thought was just so incredible, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing from grown men, and I thought how disconnected these guys must be to who they really are, because they were kind of in agreement. And these were very grown men. They were like past 25, and they really were having this conversation about this woman. And I'm not trying to be funny, but I really think the stuff was bootleg when she walked in. But it was really, they were so into it, and it was just like, and I kept thinking, I can't believe this is a conversation. I can't believe that this is what they think validates another human being. And how is this making you, do you own that company that you're bragging so much about that she's wearing? I just thought how disconnected you are. So I would not want, I want our girls to become leaders and not be so disconnected by all of the media misinformation. And so a lot of stuff is to sell you stuff, because that's exactly what they were doing. They were caught up.
They drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, they drank the Kool-Aid. They literally were caught up in what they were being told and being sold. And I thought how many of these conversations are happening, from not just this, but to somebody's style or somebody's hair, or just not being more in touch with the human connection, not being more in touch with their spiritual selves and who they are to become their best selves. So I think that that's what I want for our girls.
And how would you define freedom?
Freedom, I'd say again that it's almost like the story that I just told. Freedom meaning to be able to be in touch with what it is that really moves you, and what is inside of you that makes you your very unique self, and then trying to bring the best of that to the world without it being tainted by negativity.
So here's the last question, Beverly. Who do you think you are?
I think I am. I'm an optimist. I believe. I think I am. This is a really interesting question. I think I am a, what do you call it? Humanitarian. And I see the cup half full. I see the solution. I'm a person that sees the solution, a person that believes. I believe in the best of us. I believe in the best of the human spirit, and I think that makes me a really good person.
I think it does too.